He had been DMing me, which is crazy.
Really?
I feel like he'd been DMing a lot of people. Yeah, he would just kind of communicate, and he would send a lot of stuff that I felt like was kind of wild, like links and things, like just crazy videos. Sometimes some of it was a little bit too. It was almost like it was like somebody getting hurt or something,
Yeah, I don't like those videos.
So some of that, sometimes I even said one time, I said, I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he seemed like a nice guy. I mean, I just messaged with him a few times. But this is so sad, man. Hillsborough County Sheriff, Tampa Radio discussed the key findings, autopsy, that Jackson was suffering from chronic alcoholism. Man.
Let me ask you something, man. Because I for sure, deal with my own depression stuff, It seems like so much of this, like, the more I'm aware of it, when you read it, you're like, this just all feels like part of mental illness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, especially for guys like this, I'm sure it's harder when you've been such an alpha masculine dude, where your body is basically that when your brain starts to betray you, that you must not want to admit it. You know what I mean?
I'm sure.
It's hard enough. Like I have had a hard enough time, and I'm not some alpha ultra masculine dude, but for these guys to admit that their brain is betraying them must be the hardest step for them.
It's a good point, man. I hadn't really thought about that. Yeah, because it's total opposite of everything, of like the weights and the ability and
push through it.
Yeah,
all that shit.
Yeah, push through it. It's total opposite of everything that they've heard. Yeah, I can't imagine, man. And I think some of the come down of being like a hero. I mean, this guy was great at football. I thought he was still. I can't believe he. I think it had been 5 years since he last played, which I found was kind of amazing. But, maybe I wonder if he knew that I had suffered, with drinking or drugs, and maybe that's why he had reached out at some point. I don't know. He never said anything like that.
Yeah,
I just found it kind of interesting. Maybe he was just a podcast fan, I don't know.
But I do find that like
or podcast listener.
People do reach out though. I talked to a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, on Fighter and the Kid about my daughter and her being in rehab and all that stuff. And more people reached out. And I do find that when and I don't know if it's part of being in the program or part of being in recovery, where that the more people that reach out, it almost makes that other person feel better. Do you know what I mean? Feeling less alone, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe that's part of the thing that he understood that that's where you were coming from too, and it just made him feel less alone, maybe? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish he'd have led some sense, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like, I'm sure he was communicating with a lot of different, people, but he was just, I don't know. It's just sad to think that a guy was at that had checked into a hotel and had been there for almost a month, it seemed like, or 3 weeks. And that he had...
By the way, if you're in a hotel for more than 2 weeks, something's up.
Yeah.
More than 2 weeks?
Yeah. In the same place in Bradenton, Florida?
Yeah, if you're in a hotel for more than 2 weeks...
I mean, look at this guy.
This dude is
physical specimen, apparently a really nice guy. I mean, but also how the effect of alcoholism, if you look at it, like... He just finished playing 5 days ago.
Days?
Or 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Can you put any other information? Can you go to another article? Do you mind, Sean?
But did they say how he...
Does it say anything else?
Does it say how he died?
Let me see. Vincent Jackson was found dead in a Florida hotel room. 38. R.I.P. Vincent Jackson, man. And just so sorry, bro, that... Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine him getting stuck inside of his own head and thinking he probably couldn't say anything to anybody. But how fast do you have to be drinking for alcoholism to progress when you just played football 5 years ago? I feel like that's pretty quick.
Yeah, because to kill yourself with alcohol usually takes quite a long time.
Right. Hope you enjoyed that video, and you can watch another. And you can watch this one, you can watch this one. Different options, different choices. Some guy just brings you one option, not this guy. 2 options. Watch one, this one or this one.